Happy Sunday, everybody. Hope everybody's having a great weekend, having a great day. I am sitting here in the parking lot of my local Dollar General because, well, why the hell not? I had nothing better to do on Sunday morning. I'm just kidding. I got to go in and grab a couple things. But before I do that, I wanted to get to the new Metallica album, which between last night and this morning, I've actually had a chance to listen to all the songs from beginning to finish, which isn't an easy task. There's 12 songs. There's an hour and 17 minutes worth of material there. Some of the songs we have already heard. If you follow Octane on SiriusXM or any of the media outlets for music of this nature, then you have heard two of the songs, 72 Seasons and Lux Eterna, the two singles that they've released. I feel that they may be a couple of the strongest songs. Overall, the album itself is still, very solid. I did some reading this morning on some of the reviews that are coming in for the album as a whole, and some of the things that, reviewers are saying, and I try not to take a lot of that into heart, is that, it's one of Metallica's heaviest. It's great music. It sees Metallica going back to their roots musically. Which I can see. I think one of the things I saw pop up in a lot of the reviews is the lackluster lyrics. And I don't want to say lackluster. That is one of the terms that one of the reviewers did use. I think they're on the weaker side as far as Metallica lyrics go. But that's my own personal opinion. I keep thinking back to their previous album before this, Death Magnetic, which I loved. I mean, my buddy John Fraser and I listened to that on shift. I can't tell you how many times. Literally from start to finish, that album was probably one of the strongest ones for me, Metallica-wise. Now, you gotta remember, I'm not a Metallica purist. I came into Metallica late in the game. And still some of their catalog I have not listened to. Saint Anger was, I think, the second album overall that I heard of Metallica's. And, if you're a Metallica purist, then you'll know that Saint Anger is definitely not the album to come into the band to. That being said, I feel this album is, number one, much, much stronger than Saint Anger ever was. Although there is some good material on Saint Anger, it really isn't a strong album by Metallica at all. I think comparatively, this is probably one of their best, if not the best, certainly in recent history. So, with that being said, and we've already heard two of their songs, I wanted to point out one song, and I'll probably hold one for Monday, for Metal Monday. But this song in particular is one that, popped out to me. And I always look for that one track, because you almost always have a couple of songs that artists release ahead of the album coming out, especially a band like Metallica. They release ahead of the album coming out to, drive that album sale. And I always look for that one song that's going to be the next release, or that I think is going to be the next release. I personally think that this song itself is probably going to be the next release for Metallica. It's probably going to be the next single that they release off the album. So without further ado, it's Metallica, Shadows Fall, offering 72 Seasons. And let's take a quick listen. So that's about halfway through the song, 3 minutes and 14 seconds. The total song runtime is 6 minutes 12 seconds. There's a lot of material, like I said, to listen to on almost all of these songs. This is the second song off the album, and again, if you're listening musically, it harkens back to the earlier stuff from Metallica. You get a lot of that thrash metal. You get a lot of the breaks. Lars, for me, and I really try to take the drummer side of this out of the equation, but it's hard, being from that world. For me, this is Lars's best performance in a long time on a recording, on an album, period. Not to say that the previous stuff is lacking, but this is old Lars at his best. And the same can be said as far as, the guitars too. Listening to James's lead and, a lot of the, Kirk, honestly, what more can you say about Kirk Hammett? I think his solos on this album are some of the more purest of his. I haven't listened to his whole solo album, by the way, so I kind of want to take that out of the topic discussion on that side of things. But I think overall this album, I don't want to say it's as good for me as Death Magnetic was. I think it's a strong album, but I knew when I listened to Death Magnetic, from the very first song to the very last song, I knew the entire album was great. I could listen to it top to bottom, and it was, there wasn't a dull song in the whole thing for me. This one, I think there's a couple of moments where it ebbs and flows, and those moments where it does, ebb, it kind of does dip down on a couple of songs. You're like, okay, well, it's not bad, but, where were they trying to go here? So I'm going to listen to it again, the whole album, a couple more times before tomorrow, and try and get a Metal Monday song in too. But I want to share this one song from this album with you. I know this is a longer video. I'm sorry for that, but there's a lot of content here. So hopefully you're enjoying some of that stuff. Wake up! Happy Sunday, everybody. Enjoy the day. Stay safe. I love you all, and we'll see you on Metal Monday.